Leon Edwards finally gets his shot at the UFC welterweight championship. What took the contender so long to get a chance to fight for the belt? Who is the current champ? When will they fight? And who is the favorite to take home the welterweight championship belt? Stick around to find out all this and more. Who is Leon Edwards? The number 3 ranked welterweight contender Leon Edwards was born in Kingston, Jamaica and fights out of Birmingham, England. He started his MMA career at 2010. His UFC debut was back in 2014. He currently holds a record of 19 wins and 3 losses. Edwards has had quite an interesting career in the UFC. He was scheduled to face undefeated welterweight Khamzat Chimaev in the main event of UFC Fight Night 183 on December 19, 2020. However, on December 1st, Edwards officially tested positive for COVID-19. He had an intense battle with the virus and allegedly lost 12 pounds due to the severity of his case. So the bout was subsequently postponed. The fight was rescheduled for January 20, 2021. The rescheduled match was postponed due to Chimaev also struggling with COVID. The fight was rescheduled for a third time for March 13, 2021 until Chimaev officially pulled out of the fight, still dealing with the lingering effects of COVID. A quick replacement was found in Belal Muhammad. The fight took place but was stopped after the second round when Edwards accidentally poked Muhammad in the eye. Muhammad was unable to go on and the fight was declared no contest. Edwards then fought Nate Diaz on May 15, 2021 and won by unanimous decision. Edwards was also scheduled to face Jorge Masvidal on December 11, 2021. Unfortunately, Masvidal withdrew due to a rib injury. Edwards sure does have some bad luck, doesn't he? His bad luck actually led to a controversial decision from the UFC, but we'll talk more about that later. Who is Kamaru Usman? Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman is the current UFC welterweight champion. He was born in Auchi, Nigeria, and fights out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The champ has a background in high school and collegiate wrestling. Originally, he had his sights set on going to the Olympics in 2012, but failed to qualify. He then turned his focus to mixed martial arts and debuted professionally in 2012. In 2015, he officially became a UFC athlete through the reality television show competition, The Ultimate Fighter. Kamaru worked his way up the ranks and fought his way to a championship bout against Tyron Woodley on March 2, 2019. Usman handedly won the fight, going all 5 rounds and taking it by unanimous decision. He's since successfully defended his title 5 times. Usman's a dominant performer with a record of 20 wins and 1 loss. He also holds the record for longest win streak by a welterweight. The record was previously held by UFC legend George St. Pierre. Usman was also declared UFC's Fighter of the Year in 2021, along with winning Knockout of the Year for that same year in his fight against Jorge Masvidal. Usman has also been declared 2021's Fighter of the Year by ESPN, Yahoo Sports, CBS Sports, and the Bleacher Report. Usman certainly deserves his title belt and will likely go down in the history books as one of the greatest welterweights, if not all-around fighters of all time. When is their fight? Edwards and Usman have actually faced each other before. Their first fight took place on December 19, 2015. The bout went all 3 rounds and Edwards lost by unanimous decision. In fact, that was the last time Edwards lost a fight in the UFC, and he continued to go on with 8 more wins. UFC President Dana White said that Edwards deserves the fight. Said White, "That kid's had a rough run. He deserves it. Leon's next." He's number 3. The decision to pit Edwards against Usman has been a long time coming. Before the on again, off again, back and forth with Chimaev, Edwards was actually pulled from the welterweight rankings due to inactivity, going 425 days without a fight. This wasn't entirely the fault of Edwards due to COVID and other factors, and the UFC's decision was controversial. Agreeing to the fight against Chimaev put Edwards back on the rankings in the number 3 spot. For this championship fight, no date or location has been officially set as of yet. But with Dana White saying that Edwards is 100% going up against Usman, reports point to the fight taking place in the first quarter of 2022, perhaps March or April. Recently, however, Usman was on Instagram Live and revealed that he hasn't resumed training yet due to a hand injury, which could push the bout back until the summer of 2022. Only time will tell when their fight will actually be announced and scheduled. But that's not the only exciting fight coming up soon in the UFC. Are you wondering what other championship fights are coming up? What is Dana White most excited for? We've got all that and more UFC news. Plus, we talk about who we think will win the Usman versus Edwards fight, so don't go anywhere. Who else is fighting soon? There are actually not 1, but 2 title fight bouts coming up in the UFC 270 on January 22nd, 2022. The fights are being held in the Honda Center in Anaheim, Anaheim, California. The heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou will defend his title against Cyril Gane. Gane is undefeated in his UFC career with 10 unbroken wins. He is the favorite to take the title from Ngannou, but Ngannou's knockout power could win the fight outright. The other championship match that night is the flyweight championship. Current champ Brandon Moreno goes up against Davison Figueiredo. This is actually their third matchup together, and the last time they fought, Moreno defeated Figueiredo with a rear naked choke submission. Figueiredo surely wants his title back and will get his shot. Another championship fight is coming up for UFC 271 on February 12th, 2022. Middleweight champion Israel Adesanya takes on number 1 ranked contender Robert Whittaker. Another fight to look forward to will take place at UFC 272, but the date and location are yet to be determined. Jorge Masvidal, who was supposed to fight Edwards in December of 2021, will take on Colby Covington, who lost to Usman in November of 2021. This fight may determine who goes on to fight the next welterweight champ. Also coming up on UFC Fight Night on March 26 is the number 1 ranked light heavyweight fighter Jan Blachowicz versus the number 3 ranked fighter Alexander Rakic. Expect current light heavyweight champion Glover Teixeira to watch this fight very closely. Teixeira recently defeated Blachowicz to be the new champ. If Rakic can also defeat Blachowicz, that means Rakic will most likely be the next one to try to take the belt. What is Dana White so excited about? The UFC president said he hasn't been this excited since 2003. White said that he is most looking forward to announcing the UFC's return to London. He said, "We'll come to London and we've got big things coming to the UK over the next couple of years, so I'm really excited about it." Originally, UFC London was set to be headlined by a bout between Leon Edwards and former welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. That event was supposed to take place in 2020 until COVID restrictions forced the event to be canceled. Told you Edwards had some bad luck. Dana White said that an announcement on a new UFC London event would be coming before the end of January. Could it be the welterweight championship fight between Usman and Edwards? That would give the home field advantage to Edwards. Would Dana White give that kind of advantage in a championship fight? We'll just have to wait and see what White has up his sleeve. Who will win, Edwards or Usman? Both fighters have an impressive win streak. The champion Usman has gone 15 fights with no losses. In fact, he currently holds the longest active win streak in the UFC. If he wins his next fight, which would be against Edwards, he would tie UFC legend Anderson Silva for the longest win streak in UFC history. Meanwhile, Edwards went 8 wins in a row until his unfortunate eye poke against Belal Muhammad in March of 2021. Had Edwards actually won that fight, he would have a 10-fight win streak. Edwards possibly could hold a grudge against Usman, considering his last loss in the UFC was against Usman back in 2015. Both men look to continue their winning streaks. However, Usman is defending his title and has successfully done so 5 times. But Edwards feels that he deserves this shot and that title belt. Edwards also holds the record for the 6th fastest finish in UFC history, knocking out Seth Bakaczynski in 8 seconds. Usman has the wrestling background in his favor, but he also has the stand-up striking skills to back it up, with 3 of his last 5 fights being either KO or TKO from strikes. Edwards, on the other hand, tends to take his fights the distance and leave the decision up to the judges. Obviously, the stakes couldn't be any higher for either of these fighters. The welterweight championship fight will certainly be one for the ages. So, who do you think will win, Usman or Edwards? What other fights are you looking forward to? Leave your answers in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more.